Hey there everyone, welcome back. I'm going to be doing another nighttime recording today because the 4th of July, America's Independence Day, is tomorrow, or maybe today if you're watching this then. So I wanted to get this recap in and take a look at some hands from the 5th segment of play. Remember, this is 2022 USBCs, Spector versus Nickell. Let's jump right in there and take a look at the hands. Alright, taking a look at the scorecard. So coming into day 2, the 5th segment is the second day of competition. Nickell is behind by 36 imps, so they have a bit of catching up to do. And it looks like they've picked up 9 imps in this segment, a very low scoring session of play. Not very many game swings. We have one on board 11, but for the most part, just a large number of part scores that made the difference in this set. So I think we should probably take a look at some of those hands that caused the difference in scores. Something that jumps out to me is board 3. It's fairly rare to go minus 300 in a contract and not be doubled. Minus 300 would be doubled, not vulnerable, down 2. So let's take a look at that hand first. Okay, so on this board, we have 2 passes from South and West. Looks like South hand is not good enough to open at the 1 level, and we don't really want to be preempting 2 spades on a 5-card suit. So North gets to open and chooses 2 hearts in 3rd seat. And this is definitely an interesting choice, a bit of a dilemma, I would say, because in any other seat or position, North would have a good enough hand to open at the 1 level. Many people would just open this hand to heart without thinking. But in 3rd seat, one of the things we want to do is put pressure on the opponents, especially when they may have very strong hands. So if we were to open this hand to heart, it could allow our opponents to start by making a takeout double and then showing a strong hand later, or they might be able to overcall cheaply, and then once they find out they don't have a fit, like a heart, a spade, pass, a no trump, they'll be able to jump shift into, say, 3 diamonds and find their diamond fit. If we open with 2 hearts, that preempts the auction a little bit and may put a hindrance on their auction a little bit as to them finding a fit, or even coming into the auction at all. It may be the case that East has a marginal hand and wouldn't be able to come in over a 2 heart overcall, but is capable of entering the auction over just a simple 1 heart opening bid. Now, with that said, this means our range of opening 2 hearts in 3rd seat is fairly wide if this hand falls under that umbrella, which for this partnership it clearly does because North did open 2 hearts. So South needs to be a little wary about that fact and choose follow-ups reasonably. But so after North opens 2 hearts, East has a very easy decision to make. He makes a takeout double, heart shortness, about an opening hand. I mean, a little better than a minimum opener, but support for all 3 of the other suits. In an ideal world, East would have 4-card spades here, but you can't always have what you want. So South, having no fit for his partner's heart suit, of course wants nothing more to do with this auction. He's just hopeful with his singleton heart that 2 hearts doubled doesn't pass out. And West elects to bid 3 clubs. I think some people would play this 3 club bid as showing some values because there is a Lebensall convention that a lot of people play, where a 2 no trump bid, for example, over the takeout double would be a relay to 3 clubs as a sign-off in a 3-level contract. So it's possible that West is showing a little bit of values for the 3 club bid, but East, of course, doesn't want to hear any more of it. He has no fit for his partner's club suit and just a bare minimum for the takeout double in terms of high cards and distribution. So he passes 3 clubs. North elects to lead a singleton diamond, and this, I would say, is probably the only reasonable lead from North's hand. We could consider leading a heart, but lacking the heart ace and with no support from our partner, it feels far more likely that the opponents have the ace of hearts on this kind of auction, and we could give up the opening lead cheaply, whereas a diamond lead could allow us to get some diamond ruffs. So even though we have very strong hearts and may be able to set up a trick, or even two, for the defense, we do want to pursue diamond ruffs, so I think a diamond is probably the only reasonable lead from North's perspective. Declare gets to win the ace of diamonds and go after the trump suit. He wants to avoid diamond ruffs. He can see these are coming. So club goes to the jack and king. And South now declines to give his partner a diamond ruff. Now this could be for multiple reasons. I don't actually recall the opening diamond spot that was led, but it could be possible that West started with 3 diamonds to the jack, in which case this heart return is just, or a diamond return would give Declare not only a free diamond finesse, but a bunch of discards. That seems fairly unlikely. So more likely is that South thinks that it's important for him to lead a heart, setting up a potential heart ruff in his own hand. He may have also worked out that based on Declare's play in the club suit that his partner has the club ace, in which case it is very safe for him to, say, lead a heart now. His partner can win the ace of clubs, give him a heart ruff if necessary, and then he can give his partner a diamond ruff. So I like this return overall. The heart goes to the jack. And ace. Declare plays another club to the ace. And the king of hearts gets led. This holds the trick, because South is actually looking at a higher club than dummy holds. So he knows that he's going to be able to over-ruff the dummy on this heart return. And now South still needs to judge as to what's going on in the hand. It is possible that West's 3 club bid could have a 5th trump. If that's the case, North has no more clubs left, and leading a diamond would do absolutely nothing for him. So South elects to lead the king of spades, and this goes to the ace. Additionally, South could have just seen that the ace of spades is going to win this trick, and Declare is going to have to lead diamonds himself. This will set up an extra defensive trick in the spade queen prior to Declare giving up a diamond ruff, which he does. North cashes the queen of hearts, and then leads a spade to his partner's queen, which is the last defensive trick, but 3 down. So Declare kind of mistimed everything on this deal, but he was not in a very good contract overall. The 4-3 club fid is of course less than ideal, and given that we're missing both of the top club honors, we don't have a lot of control over what happens on this hand. It feels like Declare may have been able to cut his losses at an earlier point. I'm not sure exactly how he would go about that, but maybe one idea is to try and make use of some of the club spots that we have, the 8 and 6 of clubs, have some potential for being useful in a cross ruff sort of scenario. We could also have tried to lead diamonds instead to force out the opponent's trumps while maintaining trump control on our own, because we saw Declare ended up losing a few extra heart tricks towards the end of the hand. But overall, great defense by North-South. Let's take a look at what happened at the other table. Here, after 2 passes, North also elects to preempt his hand, but he chooses to be a little more aggressive by preempting at the 3 level with 3 hearts. And I like this decision as well. Our hand is just a little too strong for a 2-heart preempt. In many systems, at least for most expert agreements, they would say 3rd seat, favorable vulnerability. You could easily have a 5-card suit, and it doesn't have to be king, queen, jack, 10, 9. It could be something like queen, jack, 9, 5th. Probably with a singleton and maybe a few cards outside of the heart suit, but yeah, our hand doesn't nearly have to be as strong as this for a 2-heart opener. Therefore, we can be a little aggressive even though we're lacking a 7th trump by preempting 3 hearts. So yeah, I mean, while this hand could be in the range of the 3-heart bid, again, South needs to be a little careful and understanding. His partner's in third seat. He might not have exactly what South is looking for when it comes to the heart preempt. So don't go crazy just saving over whatever contract the opponent's bid, no matter what your hand is, because your partner could have a lot of defense. He might not have very many hearts. And over the 3-heart bid, East has a tough choice. He elects to pass, which seems more than reasonable to me. Other options would be to, I guess, overcall 3 no trump. That's a little scary because we only have 1 heart stopper, and we are lacking a little bit in terms of high card strength, although King, Queen, 10, 5th of diamonds does look appetizing for that action. He could have made a takeout double similarly, but his partner is odds-on to bid spades, and that would put them in a 4-3 spade fit some amount of the time, which could easily go down and might even be doubled. So East selects to be a little conservative, passes the 3-heart bid, and let's see what happens for the defense. We get a diamond honor lead, which holds the first trick, and we continue with the jack of clubs. So I can't say whether or not I like this immediately without doing a lot of defensive analysis, but here's what East was thinking about. Since North preempted, he's unlikely to have the club ace. If East were to lead a low club, this could be ducked by Declare or covered. You know, if the 6 of clubs gets led, Declare can play the 7, and if his partner really does have ace, queen, 10, then his partner will win the queen, but then we'll have to return some other card. Whether it's diamonds or spades, who knows, but we will then be in a position to, that we will have to give up one of our controls, like the ace of spades, for example, and then we can lead another club through, but by then, Declare may have established some discards, or we don't know exactly what's going on in the hand. Whereas if we lead the jack of clubs, this immediately clarifies the club suit to our partner. Yes, partner might think we have the 10 in some scenarios, but in the more likely event where partner has the ace of clubs, he will know exactly what to do after the jack of clubs is led. If it gets covered by the king, he'll win the ace, play back the queen, you know, play another club maybe. And if partner doesn't have the ace, then he'll know exactly where all of the honors are. So yeah, leading back the jack of clubs is a good defensive resource, I think. Oftentimes people forget to make this lead of an honor from nothing to clarify the suit for their partner. Declare in this scenario elects to win the king of clubs and lead a heart to try and pull some trumps. Diamond gets led back to the jack. Declare ruffs, pulls some trumps, and goes after the spade suit. The opponents now get to duck a couple of rounds. They get good count on the suit, so that when North does lead a 3rd spade, East will win the ace, but the queen of spades will be stranded. This does give up 9 tricks for Declare, but the defense prevented an over trick by not taking the ace of spades early. So that was good defense, although unfortunately there was nothing they could do to defeat the contract. It may have been the case that going after diamonds to tap Declare would have had some benefit, although maybe there was nothing the defense could have done anyway. But that's a part score swing to the Nickell team, who picked up 4 on that deal for defeating the vulnerable contract 3 clubs in the other room, 3 tricks. So there is, I guess I would call it a game swing of sorts, although 3 no trump went down several in one of the rooms. On board 11, let's take a look at board 12. 2 different games were bid and both of them did not make. So it's probably a thin game, if anything. Let's see what happened. So in the open room, West opens a club in first seat, favorable vulnerability. North elects not to overcall one diamond. It's very thin. I think I agree with this decision. East bids one diamond. South comes in with a double, which I guess you could say is takeout of diamonds, but tends to be more of a two-suited major type bid. I mean, not like 5-5, but more of like a takeout double for both majors. So South just feels like he has to do something with 16 high card points, and I don't blame him on this kind of auction. West bids one heart, which is alerted as unbalanced. I guess the thought process here is that West could pass if he had a balanced hand with a 4-card major. So bidding necessarily shows an unbalanced hand. North jumps to 2 spades, and this shows, I guess, some extra values with spade support. And South elects to try for game. So very thin. I think this is just the vulnerability and imps talking, that South with all of these jacks, I mean, jacks are just such terrible cards overall. Ace, king, queen, jack of clubs is probably not pulling its full weight in general on this kind of auction where West has opened a club and showed a long club suit. And the weak trumps, I mean, the 10-9 of spades are definitely good cards. The 9 of hearts could be useful. But all in all, this does seem like a bit of a stretch to try for game on this hand. But I understand, you know, you have a vulnerable game that is possible, may as well play for it. So, taking a look at East, he elects to lead a club. And it's hard to blame him for this opening lead. His partner did open one club. Maybe that's actually a strong reason why South elected to bid game, because he expects East to be leading from like a doubleton club or 3 small clubs on this kind of auction, and he knows that's going to be a terrible lead for the defense. So that could be a real justification for trying for game on this rather thin hand in general. But, okay, East makes the opening club lead, which looks expected. Declare wins, and starts ditching some of his heart losers. And it looks like he ditches all of them. So, all of the hearts go away. But now the defense is in, and it's going to be very difficult for Declare to reach dummy again. At this point, it does kind of feel like Declare needs to be playing for 2-2 trumps. Okay, well, East cashes the ace of diamonds, which is a little exciting, I would say, and returns another diamond. East actually figured out, based on his partner's carding, that the diamonds were 5-1 between the opponent's hands. So he's able to give his partner a diamond ruff, and with a natural trump trick coming, that's going to end Declare's chances. So, 1 down and 4 spades. Good defense by East-West after the initial setback of the club opening lead, but they were able to recover nicely. East saw his partner's signals. I was not paying attention to that at all, but it's a good thing he was, because he was sitting at the table and needed to figure it out. Yeah, and so 9 tricks for Declare, 1 down. Let's see what happened at the other table on the same board. West opens 2 diamonds, and they are playing precision. Okay, so I think I had mentioned this a few sessions back, that East-West, this partnership, does play precision. So 2 diamonds shows a singleton or void in diamonds with 11 to 15 or 10 to 15 high card points. Just a minimum opening bid for them. That's exactly what West has. East bids 2 hearts, which is alerted as not forcing, but he expects his partner to pull 2 hearts to 2 spades with a hand shape that contains a 3-card heart suit. And the only way that's possible with this 2-diamond opening bid is if West is exactly 4-3-1-5, as noted here. So we can see from East's perspective, he's not really happy about partner's 2-diamond opening bid. We of course can't pass. Playing in a 5-1 fit would just be a disaster. So we try and find a 4-3 heart fit if we have one, and play there. Otherwise, we're hoping to maybe hit 3 clubs. So South elects to come into the auction at this point. And this is somewhat brave, although given that West has showed a very minimum hand, his upper limit for the auction is capped, and East has made a non-forcing bid, we do know that our partner has some values over here. So 2 no trump is definitely a little bit safer, but once again, we still only have 16 highs, and this is not a great 16 high card points. Just jacks are such terrible cards. Even when they're paired with other honors, they rarely pull their full weight of 1 high card point, and we would prefer to have a 5-card suit that could provide a source of tricks for us in no trump. So all in all, very risky to stick our neck out, but yes, it is imps and we are vulnerable. If there is a game, it's probably going to be in 3 no trump, or maybe 4 spades, but we're going to need partners' help in cooperating, and so we'll see what happens. North elects to raise 2 no to 3 no, which I guess makes a lot of sense. I don't know if 3 clubs would have been natural for North-South as opposed to 3 no trump, or if that would have been Stamen. Obviously, North would have liked to make a Stamen type bid if he could, rather than just guess at 3 no trump. You know, a 4-4 spade fit from North's perspective would, of course, offer better opportunity to make a game, given the singleton club and the distribution of his hand. Nonetheless, maybe North is just hoping that his 5-card diamond suit will provide enough tricks. Yeah, and I will emphasize that I don't like passing 2 no trump at teams. It's just, you're hoping for too much to go right and to go wrong for there to be exactly 8 tricks in no trump to give up on the potential of a vulnerable game. I do remember old friend of mine, Jacek Piskola, Pepsi, as we used to call him, who said that 2 no trump is never to play. So, you know, you just can't play for exactly 8 tricks in a lot of spots. So, taking a look at the contract, West leads the ace of hearts. Looks like an encouraging signal from his partner. Maybe an encouraging signal from his partner. I'm sure they're on the same page about this. So West elects to switch to king of spades. He thinks that, well, he sees 3 hearts in the dummy. His partner has at least 3 hearts for the 2-heart bid non-forcing. Therefore, we have 4 heart tricks, and we want to set up the last defensive trick. Little does he know his partner has the diamond ace, but the king of spades switch is knocking out the ace of spades and is setting up what he thinks is the 5th defensive trick, 4 hearts and 1 spade to defeat the contract. He doesn't want to do anything risky like cashing out all of the hearts and then switching to the king of spades, which could potentially, I mean, not only necessarily strand the spade winner in his hand since he has no more entries, but it could leave the door open for some type of squeeze by rectifying the count in some way. So, all in all, I think this is the right switch to make. Declare hops up with the spade ace, goes after diamonds. A diamond is led to the king, ducked. I suppose from East's perspective, he's not that scared of Declare cashing this king of diamonds and then running a bunch of tricks. He saw his partner's king of spades switch. He sees that dummy has nothing other than a diamond suit to provide, and he knows his partner has some clubs for the 2-diamond opening bid. Declare switches back to spades. Just all of this is kind of a desperate attempt to get to 9 tricks, but a heart gets led to the queen, the ace of diamonds is cashed, a heart gets played over, and Declare is able to claim 2 down. But they did better in the 4-spade contract when they found their fit. So 3 imps to the Nickell team, and overall, this was a 9-imp pickup for the segment. That's going to do it for the 5th segment of play. Join me again tomorrow as we take a look at the 6th segment of the match. See you then.